It's lights on, so we're good.
Dad, toss me my hat.
Hello, hello.
What? We can just talk to each other.
Yeah, that's all.
Just talk to one another here.
Yeah, we'll practice.
Speak as
Okay,
if
which guy's a Russian? The one on
the Russian guy's in the
blue shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Russian guy is the guy who looks like he got his sporting equipment from Russia.
Yeah, that's Lev Priima, right?
Lev Priima, his partner Jake Landel. Landel?
Yeah. Landel.
Miles to kick it off. Oh.
Fucking first serve of the game. Fucking out. Really?
One of the known guys.
It's not the way you want to sort of Travis or Jake back to serve.
With a shaky start for the All-American squad.
Very shaky start. They haven't done one thing right yet.
We'll just talk as if we're on.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Serving is Jake. And we're not sure about anything about him, right, Steve?
I'm up. It's over.
Oh, good block. Not a very good set for an off ball. Move it over the left side a little bit.
These guys are the number one CBA.
Should be no wind right now. The serving should be relatively easy to pass.
Right.
Serves because the wind isn't around. It really shouldn't be a passing problem. Nice block.
Line. Mouse.
One thing to pay a little bit of attention to, perhaps, is if these guys are primarily playing on the CBVA, this ball's quite a bit different than what they're typically playing.
Does it move more?
Yeah, it's because of the swirly seams. It kind of corkscrews, and I find that it flies kind of funny.
Why don't they? I guess it's about money. Who pays the most to use the ball? I was figuring that everybody should use the same ball. Whether, yeah, you're right. Whether it's in the United States or Europe.
Well, yeah, for sure it's a money grab. I mean,
Yeah.
I just saw a thing.
It's like using a baseball.
Yeah.
Two different baseballs.
They do that, though, as well.
It's the one they just roll out.
Take the ball,
Major leagues and all that.
No, it's a major league ball. Oh, yeah, it might be a National League ball and an American League ball. Well, they're basically the same.
I saw as soon as you walked away.
This is the FIVB ball, the Mikasa. They just announced that starting the debut of a brand new ball is going to be the World Cup next year for indoor. How's that? Nice swing there, Travis Mewhirter.
Good lefty down the line. The line's your friend, right?
The line is always your friend, yeah. Especially if you can hit a cleaner like that. You're a lefty, Steve.
Yeah, that was a good cutback. That was nice. Hey. Miles all over that.
Yeah, that was one of those ones that was so easy to lose focus a little bit.
Bad play, trying to tool the block there and hit it a foot over him.
Yeah, what's your perspective on that? When you get the tight set and you're trying to go for hands, you got to either push it into contact first before you throw it out or aim for the court.
Or you hit it into his hands and the ball comes back to you. As long as it doesn't pike over. That's what Karch was so good at, is that Karch Karai was so good at just poking the ball in your block, and you got to block it right back to him. You get back in the system.
Yeah, like anything, that takes training, right, to get yourself to think of that in the moment, that I'm just going to tap it into the block and get it back.
You got to be in it. Like you said, you got to practice that and be in the habit of doing that. It's only in certain situations.
That's a over on 2 from the Russian.
There's nothing you could do about that play, right, Rich?
Nope.
Great dig, and you see that a lot where guys make great digs and it's towards the net, and the guy just takes over. The guys are the opposing teams trying to go backwards, and they can't get there far enough. The guy's got to move 20 feet to get that ball.
Right. Yeah. More and more the on-2 stuff is becoming a part of the game out here.
It's a great offensive weapon. Defensive players are out of position. There's a good roll shot right there.
Yeah, kind of falling away. That segment's a little wide.
You really got to spin that ball, don't you? I mean, when you're doing a shot, you can't knuckle it unless you're going to hit it short. I think the best place to get that top spin over. So it goes out because this ball's so spongy. If you hit a knuckle, it may go out.
Well, not to mention that, but also the block conceivably is as high as you are if you hit it straight, right? So you got to wrap it up to the top a little bit.
Out.
Goes out. I'm sure Miles wants that dig back. The ball wasn't hit that hard, right in his breadbasket.
You're a harsher critic than I am. I think that was twice as hard as any ball I ever hit in my entire career.
I doubt that. We played together. I doubt that. It was great topspin right in his bread. You got to dig that ball.
Range cross court there, Travis Mewhirter.
He's got a whip on him.
Got a whip.
And a whip at a nice angle shot.
Plus, I always think it's tough to play against left-handers. I mean, you enjoyed that advantage over all your competitors, I'm sure.
How do you block that when he's hitting that sharp angle? You got to really move over and just take the whole thing. You'd have to be almost in the middle of the court to block that.
Right, yeah, that's the adjustment that I think it takes a while, if it ever happens, for right-handers as they are so used to setting up on someone's right shoulder that the left-handers could sneak.
Us left-handers are all screwed up, aren't we?
Yeah. They say you're in your right mind, right? It's kind of jokingly, but that's chop there, Miles. I love the Samoan, like the Pacific Islander vibe when they play volleyball. They just seem to kind of float up there effortlessly.
Yeah, he floated up there and almost hesitated a little bit and then does the cut shot. Reads the block, reads the defensive player, and makes a great cut shot. What's good about this sand, it's real chunky right now, and you got to be able to get up. This isn't built on concrete like Vegas.
Right.
So the sand's relatively a lot deeper than what they're used to playing. Unless they play in California, everywhere you go, it's easy sand to jump out of.
Right.
This is California volleyball at its finest.
And it gets tougher and tougher as we go on, and it gets turned up, I would think.
Play.
That's that great roll shot off the tips, right? He goes up high and just knows the guy's going to tip it and just hits his little fingers up there. Tough to block the ball when it's on the tip of your fingers.
Right. What do you think the biggest difference between the top level guys and kind of some middle level guys like we're seeing here is? Not just disparage anybody.
Well, for me, it's a lot about size, a lot about passing, a lot about setting. These three things.
Yeah.
The serve, where these guys, the top-level guys, can handle it. I think the lower-level guys have a tendency, especially on the jump service, to make more errors. They just don't have the feel for the court as the better guys do.
Yeah, I was
like
going
any
to say
sport.
precision and consistency, right? Because, we got some great athletes out here. We know Miles, obviously, is phenomenal two-sport athlete. If journalism was an athletic endeavor, Travis Mewhirter would be an excellent two-sport athlete. He's a writer extraordinary. But yeah, kind of little plays like that creep into the...
Even Landel leading 9-8 over Mewhirter. That's a great shot inside the block.
Good shot. I think Travis is a little too early on his block there.
A little bit early. Yeah, that's a problem with blockers. It's nothing that separates the top level versus the middle level.
Yeah.
Blockers are really disciplined.
Discipline and that timing. Tyler Hildebrand talks about the pop of the hips as kind of a cue for timing.
Do you want to go up and block? You want to hesitate when he goes up? Do you go up with him, or you just wait like a split second?
No, that's the hip pop timing. Nice shot there, Travis. When the hitter's hips pop and open up as he kind of extends the jump, if your hips have already popped, you're way too early. Because you've got to sort of make him commit and then make your move.
So it's just a split second to read.
because there's too much court, you know. The better and better players that you play against, if you're up early, they're just going to see you and chop around you. They've just got too much skill.
Plus, you
too
can
much
block
range.
the ball on the way down or coming down.
Right.
It's a lot easier for the guy to go off of
Exactly right.
or over him, for that matter. You see the passing there isn't perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an easy serve. And I don't know, with no wind, do you go to a float serve more?
I think, yeah, because it's probably more difficult to control this ball a little bit. I don't know that.
What's easier to pass? This top serve that's not going very fast, or a floater?
The slow topspin serve is way easier to pass. Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially with this ball, a float serve is going to dance a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of kind of interesting concepts we can talk about. Going back to the blocking thing, I think if you have the right mentality as a blocker, that's an important component in that. You don't have to always block the ball to be successful as a blocker, right?
Take your area.
Taking an area, if you're kind of forcing a guy to do what you want through your whole blocking defense scheme, that's a win. Oftentimes I think blockers get too wrapped up in, I have to block it, otherwise it's a failure. Same thing is true with serving. I don't have to hit the ball 80 miles an hour for it to be a good serve. In fact, if I do that and it's right in someone's lap, sometimes that's easier than if I serve it middle or short, make the guy move a little bit.
Well, he's serving Travis. Or Jake. When he's serving, he's not moving the ball as much.
Let me get this up.
Excuse me. I'm going to go see.
Lining. Go, 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 go! Let's go, boys! Let's go!
Yeah. should. Yeah.
That's right. They have 19, not 18.
See the stream and the audio from that mic is on the app. But
Yeah, I like it.
don't have anything in our headphones.
Check, 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 check.
Nice take, Trav.
Oh, you could hear us. Okay.
You talk softer than me, and they're only hearing you.
That's why I need a microphone.
Yeah, I'm getting hosed. Oh, that's good movement on that serve, Rich.
That was, yeah.
I think we're back live here. We had some audio problems.
Good movement on that serve, but they handled it.
Yeah, that thing moved.
Yeah.
You got to get some compression on that ball to get it to move, right?
That's always the conundrum, right? Is like you hit that one serve that just falls off the table or dances 3 feet like that, and you wonder, how exactly was I holding the ball when I hit it?
It's like a golf swing. How did I do that?
Yeah.
Why can't I do that all the time? It's the same ball.
Same ball.
Yeah.
Same person, allegedly.
Yeah, same person. Same distance.
I just got back from the desert, as you well know, and I didn't hit two of the same shot twice in a row, ever. Travis and Miles inching closer to victory in set one here, 20-16. This will be set point for them.
Pretty much over at this point, right? Just one side out, and boom, there you go.
Oh,
almost.
Nice little play by Jake there with his foot, but that, yeah. I'm not sure what the argument is there. He can obviously contact it less than cleanly, but that thing came off both of his hands at completely separate times, yeah.
Started mixing potato salad with that.
Mixing some potato salad, certainly something with sour cream as he's of Russian descent. So set one goes to Travis and Miles. I'm going to apologize now because I think we should revisit all the stuff we talked about in set one and we didn't know we were talking.
Yeah, exactly. Apologize now.
Because there was some
If there's any foul language of us complaining we didn't think we were live.
It was all Steve Obradovich, that's capital O.
And Rich Lamborn, capital L.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to get fined for this. Okay, getting ready for set two here.
Now this is set two, about to start in round one of the Young Guns competition, which is just, I think, to keep some synchronicity label-wise with the Top Guns because we have a variety of ages participating in this particular tournament.
I see Miles' father Tia over there watching the action. Must be good to watch him. doesn't get a chance to watch him, and I'm going over to Europe and only 8 AVP events.
That nice little wrap over the top that you talk about, Steve, by Miles there. Yeah, Tia produced some phenomenal volleyball players. In his
Absolutely.
family.
Should be
We
proud.
talked about
and a
Miles
football
being-
player, too, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about him being a two-sport athlete, won the Rose Bowl and a national championship all in the same year, which was done by one other American male.
Well, who's that?
That was
Who was that guy? It's a trivia
I
question
wanna
at home.
say-
Call in 1-800-I-HAVE-TO-KNOW.
yeah, I want to say Bob Cratchit, but that doesn't sound right.
That's that OB guy.
It was, of course, that was you, Steve.
Yes.
And Miles did it in 2013. You did it in what year?
77.
77. So a few years. That's how difficult that is. Only 2 guys have done it, and there was a few years in between those occurrences.
Absolutely. But he didn't win the Manhattan Open prior to that. So I won
true.
Manhattan Open, Rose Bowl, and NCAA championship in volleyball. So I'm hanging that over Miles's head.
If you guys wrestled for masculine supremacy, though, I do have to put my money on Miles. No offense.
Oh, I'd be 100 to 1 underdog. The other way I'd get to him, if he closes his eyes and gives me one punch, then it's going to go 10 rounds still.
Yeah, Miles' brother Garrett spent a lot of years playing for the national team. I had the pleasure of playing with him a couple summers. Amazing volleyball player. I believe.
Which Olympics was that? You played in 3, right?
I played in 2 Olympics. Yeah, Garrett and I didn't play together on an Olympic team.
Oh, just a national team?
Just a couple summers with the national team. But yeah, I mean, you watch Miles, you can see that Polynesian smoothness to his game, and his brother certainly has that in spades as well.
So, out of the 2, you won a gold medal?
In 2008, yeah, we won the gold. In 2012, we lost in the first round of the playoffs, which means 5th, and
I only want to sit with guys who won 2 gold medals.
Okay.
So I got to tell you, I'm very disappointed in you, Rich. Just 1 gold medal. Gosh.
You have a short list of people you're allowed to sit with then. You got Karchi and anyone who was on the 84 and the 88 team.
Yeah. Wish there was a plethora of volleyball players. Ooh.
Nice block to save a point there, Travis Mewhirter. We saw some good movement again on that serve from Priima and
the wind is
Landel.
freshening.
Freshening,
As they say in England, it's freshening. It's picked up. It's probably, when it's 0, and it's probably 7 to 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Wait, let me stick my thumb out. It's about 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah, give or take.
Crisp.
Crisp.
Brisk.
A little brisk, but this is nice weather to play in volleyball, though.
Yeah.
Instead of being out here where it's 80 degrees like it usually is in California during the summer. So this is like, you don't really sweat. You kind of glow.
Yeah.
You know,
Glisten.
which is good for the guys because they're all oiled up. Looks like they're all oiled up. They're just glistening.
So you're a fan of these high shorts then that Lev's got going?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I like it. It's funny how everything comes back.
Yeah.
You know, the baggy shorts will come out in 10 years. But everything, even in the NBA, guys are going to shorter shorts. Went to a Lakers game. I go to Lakers games all the time, and LeBron James has got some tight shorts now.
Yeah.
Shorter and tighter.
Well, I mean, you put the work in the gym. I suppose you want to show the fruits of your labor.
Sure, yeah. Well, those baggy shorts used to dry. You can't tell if the guy's got a butter in it, you know.
If they get too much shorter, you're really going to be emphasizing the fruits part of the fruits of your labor.
See if we can get a good floaty here. That wasn't bad movement. We're probably sitting. I love when I go to volleyball is to sit in the end zone like we are.
Yeah.
Instead of going mid-court, you see so much opening and shots and where the defense is playing.
Right.
So every time I go to an indoor match or even a volleyball match, I like to sit in the end zone, so to speak, behind the baseline, and you can see everything on both sides. I think that's where most coaches would like to sit if they didn't have to sit in a chair. Do you get better vision that way?
I think there's pluses and minuses to both of them, and as a result, indoors, typically they have coaches in both spots relaying information to one another, because I certainly like the end zone view. Sometimes you don't have a great gauge for proximity to the net on some of the stuff. So, yeah, like we saw Jake sit in the angle, like you said, and dig a great ball. was that set too far off the net and it
That's
lessened Travis's
Good
range?
point.
You know what I mean? It's hard for us to tell from this vantage point, but then we don't get the other angle view if we sit where the referees are.
And we can't say if there was a touch or a net or something like
absolutely.
that. Sitting back here, so if you sit up there, you could say that was a net player. You know, you can agree with the players, or I don't. Can you guys talk to the players?
Coaches?
When you're coaching?
Yeah, each tour has kind of its own rules on that. On the FIVB, the World Tour, you can't say anything ever. You're
Can
not
you coach?
down on the court.
You can't coach, though.
No,
on the
you
court.
can't
So
coach.
you have to stand off somewhere.
You have to stand off, and then there's a
do
constant.
Do you guys cheat like tennis? Kind of like baseball
if you have
signs?
a Brazilian passport, I think it's your patriotic duty to try and cheat at all times. And
At
so
all
there's
times.
constant. We have the difficulty as English speakers that everyone knows our language.
Yes.
So it's easy to monitor us if we're trying to do something
absolutely.
shady. I'm not sure
Well,
what's
you
going
could
on.
have, being that mind, not that I ever cheated or tried to cheat, another guy can be standing off and they could be talking. That guy goes over there and starts speaking Brazilian, so it's not coming from the coach.
Right.
Use another guy, and I'm sure they do that.
They do all kinds of
Yeah.
things. I mean, I've heard wild stuff that I don't think like that, so
Yeah.
I don't come up with. I don't use my
No.
what little creativity I have to come up with ploys to cheat. But I mean, like a coach leaning one way or another.
Yeah.
And there, guys, to me, I guess you're looking for any competitive advantage where margins are so small between winning and losing.
Yeah.
But if I'm constantly looking at my coach, isn't that sort of taking me out of what I should be focusing on the court? And, just because I know a guy's blocking angle, is that going to guarantee me a side out?
Well, plus if you play in Brazil, they got the horns going the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to drive you crazy.
Right.
You just want to take that horn and go, hit him with it.
You weren't a fan of the Vuvuzela, huh?
No. Is that what it's called?
That's the one that they had when the World Cup was down in South America, South Africa.
Yeah. They just bring the horns out?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a constant. It was like when the cicadas, are out and there's just a constant buzz.
Seems when I watch soccer on TV, that's all you hear is the horns.
Right. Well, that's because you've got to occupy yourself with something since there's no scoring.
I'd run out of air. I'd pass out. I mean, do they have like shifts that go? Like 10 guys do it, then they pass the baton, and the other 10 guys do it, so they get the full sound going.
I'm going to make an incredibly fruity reference for you here that I learned from high school choir class. If we're in a chorus, at some point I'm going to need to breathe, but I don't want to breathe at the same time as you because then the sound goes away, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to stagger our breathing. And I think maybe the same thing applies in the Vuvuzela arena.
Well, good.
Well, that might have been a little
During our
medical
timeout,
timeout
you
there.
can serenade me if you want.
Okay, all right.
That's interesting about breathing like that. I just learned something if I'm going to go into the choir, which you got a better chance of putting mayonnaise into a tuna. A live tuna.
Yeah, it's going to be just long. A nice little insight, a little peek behind the curtain of the team of Priima and Landel there. Landel, not a fan of his partner pulling.
Really?
Yeah. He gave him the triple please. I don't want to have to say it again. Please, please, please don't pull. It is much more a part of the game on the women's side where there's kind of maybe generally less power involved.
Yes.
Pole digging and, Carrie Walls-Jennings, I think, among the many, many things she does well in the volleyball court, I think she's the best to ever do that particular skill, pulling off the net and digging the ball.
Oh.
So, she's imposing as a blocker, of course, but then when
I
she
don't
can
know
retreat
why.
and dig overhand and, all these little kind of bang-bang plays, I think that's what really sets her apart.
I don't know why more women don't watch and see that.
Yeah.
is to really work on that, but especially with women, the ball's 5 feet off the net.
Yep.
What do you're losing 7/8 of the court.
Yeah, it's it's an interesting thing because you have to have the ability to make those digs,
Carries
which
so
aren't
quick
easy.
getting back, too.
You also have to be incredibly quick at not only reading this is the proper scenario in which I should pull, and also making that move to get back. That's another thing that kind of Brazilians were pioneers of.
There's a nice high hit.
Nice reach there, Travis Mewhirter.
Yeah. He got the ball at its apex, which you have to do.
Yeah.
If you don't get the ball at its apex, you're going down. It's like hitting in a phone booth.
Little pike over the net, Travis Mewhirter. Some questionable shorts.
Very questionable.
Oh, shoot, he can
He's
hear
looking
us.
at us smiling. Well, he only has the second shortest shorts on the court. I think he needs to tighten them up, too.
Yeah, those are...
I think he's wearing 33s when he should be wearing 32s.
They're baggy compared to Prima's.
Yeah.
Sartorial choice.
Yeah. Those are pretty standard in Russia, though, right?
Those are standard in Russia. Yeah.
I like them, though. I like them.
The high and tights?
High and tight, baby.
Yeah. Mistake those for boxer shorts here, and
Yeah, he could actually pull his pants over those at night. Maybe there's a dual purpose there.
Just throw on your pants at the end of the game and
ooh, netted.
I'm gonna give Miles credit for that. It looks like he almost pulled his hands back and got the extra push from the big Russian.
Now there's a way to
the net.
There's a way to you want to get first hit. You want to if you're going to get first hit, you have to go into that guy.
Yeah.
The force gives you every advantage in the world.
We typically think of the lower guy winning that, right? Because they're in a more advantageous leverage position.
Yeah. You got it's all about leverage.
Yeah.
I see it a lot where, especially in women, you got to push.
Yeah.
It's a leverage. Same with guys. I shouldn't say just women. Same with guys. You got to beat the guy in the ball and push.
Again, I think a lot of that comes down to situational recognition too. Sometimes, especially if you're the blocker up there, that ball comes tight and you just sort of instinctively go with both hands and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
By being straight up and down. I mean, it's next to impossible to push with both arms.
We used to call that, I don't know, they still call it the Kong block.
Yeah.
You Kong block a guy. It's like you're the big Kong block.
Right. Randy invented that, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Randy Stokos is very good at that.
Yeah, but you watch a guy like Taylor Crabb sees those balls so well and comes in with his arm loaded. He's not going out with the stiff arm. He comes in with it loaded, so he's got some push to give.
That's hard to teach, too.
Yo, it is.
Approach it like a spike instead of just going up there and running and jumping. You got to go approach it like, especially Taylor, he's short.
Yeah.
So he's got to get the approach. You can't stand there and do anything.
He's got to be quick with his feet, but he also enjoys that he's coming up, so his force is going the right way.
The leverage is going the right way. Timeout here in the action.
Timeout as we saw a nice little on-two play from Miles and Travis.
They're
Travis with the right hand.
12-9 in case you can't see the screen at home and need glasses like I do.
A lot of international players in this field, both on the men's side and the women's side.
Yeah, that's why it should be a draw because you don't get to see these players in California.
Yep.
And California, they got for Friday. It's a good crowd, and tomorrow it should be better. Saturday's usually the big day because there's so many teams playing, but you got the top world class players here.
Yeah, a couple different formats here, right? We have the Young Guns, which we're watching here, more traditional tournament format, and then we have Top Gun, which is kind of a king of the beach. Everybody plays with everybody.
That's a king of the beach. Young Guns is regular volleyball. Right. King of the beach is interesting because they only play one game to 28.
That will be interesting. It'll be
the point differential is going to be huge.
That'll be huge.
You need if you're down even 28 to 25, you need to get that extra point because that point may be what keeps you in or out of moving on into the quarterfinals and the semifinals. So every point everywhere, but it's huge there because of the tiebreakers.
I wonder how often it will come down because each of the pools was constructed to where there's 2 blockers and 2 defenders, but that means that the 2 blockers are going to play together against the 2 defenders at some point. It'll be interesting to see who does better in those matches.
Yeah. I think I got my money on the blockers.
Yeah? Yeah, I suppose it depends on which blockers, because, we have guys like Timmy Baumgren, who is a little bit of a smaller blocker, but he's got a well-rounded game. You have Kame Schalk, who's kind of the same way, who's done some double duty. We got another medical here. I don't know what's going on.
I think he may have. Are they putting a Band-Aid on there? Hey, get out of the way. I got to see that.
Yeah.
The camera's over there. Probably isn't. Well, that's what I'm saying. Gets back to the point about trying to score as many points. So if you're the shorter guys, you need as many points as you can get. You got to start off hot and keep with them, so you don't get bombed 28-20.
Right.
And you're basically out of the point differential.
Yeah, you would think the 2 blockers side-out game will be good because they won't be facing much of a block. But you never know. Sometimes they have some difficulty.
Well, if you have 2
well.
blockers, the other guy's not going to be able to play the defense. If they're 2 natural blockers,
right?
Their defense coming back to the ball, and that's where the advantage for the shorter guys have, because they can control the ball. There's not some really quick guy. So if they got 2 natural blockers that always block, that gives the shorter guys the advantage.
That's why it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, it is.
Because I think there's a lot of ways to see that. We saw the team of Trevor Crabb, Tri-Born, have a lot of success. They finished 3rd actually in Las Vegas, the last 1440 event, and they're both typically blockers that are splitting now. But I mean, they're a little bit of an exception, I would say, just because they both have such great ball control in general, and they're both on the smaller side of the blocker realm.
And they probably block 2 different ways, too.
Right.
So that kind of confuses the hitter. He goes, okay, what's this guy supposed to do? Then you get confused, and you go, oh, he doesn't block the line very well. But I think the format's so interesting with King of the Beach. Also would like to see a 4-man tournament and take the players that are in the current deal and split them up. In a 4-man game, people don't realize how exciting that is. How the digs, I really think that the FIVB ought to maybe put 2 tournaments in one and have the 4-man a smaller, because you're playing 4 guys on a team, so it doesn't take up the time.
Yeah.
But I think that's FIVB's got to think out of the box. They got to really, how do we get it even better? So if you got 4 guys from Brazil, 4 guys from Russia competing against each other, it makes it so you got country against country, a 4-man, or mix them up a little bit. I actually think during the winter, some events you could have a tour just with 4-man. Because the tournament will go quicker. There's not as many teams. It's the same time factor. So you could run a 2-day tournament or even a 1-day tournament.
Right. And
more people will come out. They'll get more attendance.
See some pretty devastating volleyball, too, I would think, with some of the athletes out here if you added in play setting and double blocking and so forth. Some of the wrinkles you see in 4-man volleyball. Another block from Travis Mewhirter.
Or you could limit it to the guy can only have 1 blocker. There's no double blocks. You could change a few things so there's not a 2-man block. So if you only have 1 guy can block at a time, that evens the whole deal out.
It'd be interesting to see which players were good at that format, because it's a different skill set, I would think.
Well, you got to keep the same guys. You can't have the indoor guys come in and spot play them.
Right.
The object is to promote the beach tour. So the guys off the national team, you get a guy at 7 foot or whatever can move.
Right.
Can't play doubles, but frick, he can play 4-man.
That's what I mean. But then you have kind of the flip of that, like as a guy like Alice Sohn, for example, who's reigning gold medalist and so devastating in 2-man. Is he gonna be as devastating in 4-man?
That's why it's an interesting event.
Yeah, it would be certainly interesting.
Yeah, I just came up with that last night. I was thinking, Alex from Germany staying at my house with Alvaro.
Yeah,
I got a Brazilian and a German staying with me because I live 10 miles down the road, and we were talking about it last night. And both of them said, "I love 4-man."
Yeah.
So there's so much action, but you got to, like I said, you got to restrict the rules on 2 guys blocking. There's going to be a lot more digs. If you got 2 countries going against each other, and there's 4 of them instead of doubles, it's like this is the same thing we do every week. But if you put 4 guys on the court, country versus country, or even split them up, it becomes people will watch it. They'll love it.
Right.
You got a quick set coming. You got all sorts of stuff happening.
Yep. And
But you got to restrict it to only the guys that are on the FIVB tour. You can't have the indoors guys come out, and because, like I said, it's 4-man, and it just takes away from the skill of the game. They just go up there and 7 foot with short court.
Cagey play there from Mewhirter. He did the that set got tight. He jumped up and then pulled his hands as Jake just launched it into the stands, looking for the touch. Yeah, Mewhirter's really got on a roll here as we've been yapping in our own conversation.
Yeah, they're up 18-11.
You guys up next? Oh, okay.
We don't get to do your game? I want to do your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well. You'll figure it out.
We'll look forward to that. Irene Hester.
Who was that? Irene Hester?
Yeah.
She's from
United States. Yeah.
She stopped by the booth?
Just stop by the booth, pay
All these
homage.
women are so pretty on the tour, I can't tell them apart. Back to action here.
Yeah, nearing the end of this match, as we mentioned, Mewhirter's gotten on a roll. He's had about 8 blocks in this match, which is he's kind of figured out his timing, something that Jake and Lev aren't accustomed to seeing on the CBVAs. Blocks that big and kind of consistently in the right spot. Makes it 12, serving 18.
Does Miles have and Travis have an advantage because they play together all the time?
No, this is actually a new team. Miles spent the entirety of the last season playing with a kid named Kyle Friend.
Okay.
So
they're brand new partners.
Brand new partnership. Yeah, I think they've been training together a little bit. Obviously, the pair on the other side, Lev and Jake, are the top-rated team on the CBVA, which is kind of the amateur ranks. But they're a very good team with a lot of time together under their belt. Look out below. A nice move from Miles, but swing too good. Miles was a strong safety. You played what position?
As a wide receiver.
Wide receiver?
Yeah. Special teams guy, too. I was a
gunner?
backup receiver and played in all the special teams.
Okay.
I got to tackle people, which was fun.
Yeah, I imagine Miles did his fair share of that as a strong safety.
Yeah.
I
think he played a lot more than me. I think he started.
Yeah. Your favorite strong safety in the history of the game was?
God, that's a tough one.
I'm going with Ronnie Lott.
Well, yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
Ferocious hitter. Good friend of mine.
Is he?
SC. Oh, yeah. Ronnie's a great guy.
Oh, he's an SC guy. I forgot about that. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
You guys played at the same time, or you're a little bit older than he is?
Ronnie Lott came in when I left.
Okay.
Yeah. He actually started off playing corner.
Oh, really?
No, he played corner in the NFL. That's how big and fast he was.
Yeah.
And then he moved to strong safety. You always kind of look for them when you're a running back. Hey, where's Ronnie Lott? So especially when you break through the line.
Right.
You're kind of going, okay, where's Lott?
Yeah.
He's coming full throttle.
When you knew him from the SC days, he still had all his fingers because he had yet to chop off his pinky.
I've seen him since then. Chop that little finger off.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, that's when you know you're a tough guy, right? As the hitting error wraps it up for the team of Travis Mewhirter and Miles.
They move on.
Muagututia is going to be my best guess at his last name.
That was a pretty good pronunciation. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You're
I'm not sure if it's
You're
correct,
welcome.
but it
You're
sounded
welcome.
authoritative.
So we'll see you the next match.
A couple minutes. We should kick off at 10, which means we got 13 minutes. Yep. We'll join you in a few.
That's so weird. It's so weird. That's why I got 1 ear second. So I feel like we might be talking.